Hey everyone, welcome for those who are new, and what it do, Cali gang? We are back for another reaction. Alright, so today we are going to be reacting to a video on the page of YouTube called Juicy Pop. I love this page. They always have something to watch, just interesting things. Alright, we are gonna get into it. The video is titled Adina Howard Ruined Her Singing Career Over a Man ... Brandy's man. All right, so this was a 90s R&B love triangle. All right, this happened when I was too young to pay attention to this, obviously, and you know your girl's a fan of Brandy. All right, but yeah, let's get into it. The video is about 13 minutes long. It will be a little more because I'm gonna do my commentary, stop, start, all the things. But please like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notifications so you know when I post, get up to date. All right, giveaway possibly coming in August. But yeah, I appreciate you guys so much. We are on the road to getting monetized. All right, please help my dream come true by becoming a full-time YouTuber. Like, subscribe, comment. It's all free. All right. But yeah, so let's get into this reaction. Hope everyone's having a great day also, by the way.
Once she made up her mind about something, that's exactly what she was going to do. And she didn't care about the consequences. For her musical career, though, that approach would lead to disaster. Adina Howard was born Adina Marie Walker on November 14, 1973 in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Her father worked as a furniture assembler, while her mother took care of her and her three younger sisters.
Sorry.
She grew up attending church of various denominations regularly and also sang there. While Sundays were strictly for the Lord, Adina was allowed to listen to secular music the other days of the week. Some of the artists that could be heard in the home were Minnie Riperton, Gladys Knight and the Pips, and Patti LaBelle. Every chance she got, though, she'd get her hairbrush and belt out her favorite Whitney Houston tunes. In a 2015 interview with Rolling Out, she spoke about how she came to discover her talent for singing. "My mother made me sing more often than not when I was a child. I really don't know why, because my singing was not the business back in the day. She obviously heard what I couldn't. It wasn't until later in life that I began to hear what she knew was there." Sadly, Adina's musical dreams were gradually shadowed by her home life as her parents' marriage came apart. Her father, who was an alcoholic and drug addict, would stay out all night and not come back for a day or two sometimes. The next thing everyone knew, he was gone. He traveled clear across the country to California with another woman.
Wow.
When he came back, he and Adina's mother got into an argument, and she ended up leaving the house and the marriage that day. According to Adina, she felt her father's presence the most when she became a teenager. By that time, her mother had already taken her and her sisters to live in Phoenix, Arizona. It was a major culture shock for her, especially when it came to getting attention from boys. Back in Michigan, everyone was checking for her. In Phoenix, not so much. That is, until she became of age physically, and her insatiable desire for sex took hold. According to R&B Haven, when Adina was living in Mesa, Arizona, she met producers Ray Hunter and Ron Keel. Ray wanted her to become a member of a girl group named Deja Vu, but Ron saw more potential in Adina and wanted her to go solo. However, before the guys could set up a deal with her, she'd gotten help from someone else, signed a deal, and left the two men behind.
Oh, wow.
That new and seemingly better opportunity came when she met producer and singer Livio Harris, who was performing with his vocal group called For Sure. When he was standing around signing autographs after a show, Adina came up to him and boldly stated she didn't want his autograph. He should want hers. Her sass made him take notice.
All right, girl, she bold.
Livio then teamed up with producer Roger Romain to craft songs and an image to fit Adina's personality. The moment she got into the studio, she was off and running, unafraid to express herself vocally or sexually. Adina was quickly signed to independent label Mecca Dawn, with distribution through Atlantic's East West Records, and dropped her debut album titled Do You Want to Ride in 1995. The album couldn't be more true to its cover, with song titles like You Got Me Humpin', If We Make Love Tonight, and Horny for Your Love. But it would be the equally spicy title track and debut single, Freak like me that would put her on the map. It went platinum, climbing all the way to #2 on both the R&B and Hot 100 charts.
Y'all, I used to love that song back in the day. Of course, I was young and a kid, and I just loved the melody and the lyrics. And of course, I didn't know what I was singing. I don't know what I was saying. I just know I liked the song and it spoke to my soul, okay? But, y'all, I didn't realize she was that Adina. OMG. Okay, I'm having a totally different, look at this now, okay?
Naturally, the freak like me image came with some positives and negatives. She was able to be herself and as sexually liberated as she wanted to be. But there was also
But until
that if they were just as freaky, that made them the chosen one. Adina's made it clear that she's the one that does the choosing, not the other way around. Two other
all right, ma'am.
were released, My Up and Down and It's All About You. They did moderately well, helping Do You Want to Ride? Go Gold. Fun fact, the video for My Up and Down was deemed too explicit for BET's video programs, but it played on The Box, a pay-per-view video channel at $2.50 a pop. As
All right.
reported in a 1995 article by the Washington Post, some felt that Adina embodied everything wrong with pop culture. C. Dolores Tucker, head of the National Political Congress of Black Women and a leading critic of explicit lyrics, said, I have seen the cover of Adina Howard's album. I find it pornographic and reprehensible. She added that Adina signifies lost young people who stoop to such a low self-image in order to sell records.
If they saw what they do today, that she stooped that low to sell records, girl, shut up. All right. This has been going on since before Adina. It's gonna happen after Adina. These men just do whatever they want and nobody says anything. But nobody speaks about that. Nobody talks about that. Nobody says anything about that. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I had to say something. I had to. But I have to remember, this was not nowadays. You know what I mean? This was back in the day.
To others, Adina is a heroine for female liberation, someone at ease with her sexuality and smart enough to cash in on it.
In our
Facts.
society,
That part.
women again are perceived as being, the timid ones, the passive ones. We're only sensual and sexy when men want us to be sensual and sexy.
Exactly.
And I just refuse to fall into that category.
Good.
Be controlled by
Good
that.
girl.
Because if guys can do it, I can do it too. And regardless of what the females thought and what the guys even thought, because there were some guys that said, okay, she's a hoe, she's easy, she's promiscuous, and it was like, no. If that's your perception of me, then that's my perception of you. And
Oh,
I'm gonna call a spade a spade.
Adina also dealt with push.
I love her attitude. I love it. She's like, no, you call me a hoe, you call me a slut. Well, that's how I'm gonna look at you. She was literally calling out the displaced anger, number one, and the shoot, I'm trying to remember what it's called. Do y'all sound off in the comments? I'm pretty sure the word's gonna come to me, but it's when deflecting. They're deflecting. Basically, they're putting what they think of themselves onto her, but it's not her, it's them. You know what I mean? But yeah, oh my God, I love her even more now. I love her.
From her peers in the music industry, as she detailed in her 1995 feature in People magazine. She told the story of a disappointing encounter with legendary jazz vocalist Nancy Wilson in an airport in Cleveland.
I remember being excited. I remember just being elated to see her because I was a fan. I love her, even to this day, I love her voice. I just thought she was so,
Oh,
just
so sweet.
amazing. And to meet her and introduce myself and to get the response that I got, it was like, wow, didn't expect that. Okay. It was stop me from saying like, yo, that's Nancy Wilson. She don't like my music. That's Nancy Wilson. You know, she was a seasoned woman at the time. She's still a seasoned woman, but at the time I was 21. She was.
You guys, that is so sad. She basically met someone that she looked up to in the industry. She really like valued them. She, you know, it's like it's like that saying you never want to meet your heroes in real life. And I feel like this was her experiencing that, and it sucks and it's sad, but I will say at least she didn't take that and like number one, she didn't dwell on it, which is always good. Number two, she didn't take that one experience and completely write off her love for that artist. She still listened to the music. She still loved and respected her, but she was just like, wow, okay, that just happened. Like, wow. I think that's amazing of her for that. How would you guys react? Like, really think about that. If you're in music, modeling, makeup, just any industry or acting, and you meet, you know, someone you look up to or someone that you want to be like or someone that you're like, oh, I would love if they would mentor me, and they either are a complete asshole or they are just like shut off or they are just like, you know, not feeling it. And I commend her so much for not taking that, holding on to that, and like either using that as retaliation or just using that in a negative way. You know what I mean? Like she kind of just took it and was like, oh, okay, well, that was my experience with them. Like they're still a good artist and I still like them, but they don't like me, and that's okay. That shows that she was a very, very, very strong person. Very strong.
There in age, and so she comes from a different era. So I can totally.
In fact, she did come from a different era, different way of the land, different rules, regulations, all the things.
The title of the song or the content of the song. So, I mean, it is what it is. Everybody have their own perception. And everybody's, you know, where they are on their journey, and they like what they like, and they don't what they don't.
Ironically, as Adina's star
I love
rose,
that.
she found
I
herself
love
playing
that.
less and working harder. She wasn't able to freak, so to speak, like she wanted to and done in the past. She had to strike while the iron was hot and stay on her grind.
Yes,
In
girl,
the
she
studio,
did.
that is, not the bedroom. Fun fact, it was that crazy work schedule that, unfortunately, prevented her from taking a cameo role in the 1995 romantic comedy film, Waiting to Exhale. There was one special person in her life that was...
Y'all, she could have made a cameo in Waiting to Exhale. That could have, wow, just think about that. That one cameo could have like moved her career. Like, oh my gosh, wow. My brain is like exploding right now. That cameo could have switched her career to where she could have just said screw music altogether and got like into acting or whatever, or maybe did something else, or maybe she could have did voice over acting. You know what I mean? You never know. Wow, I can't believe that. She was almost on Waiting to Exhale. Wow. Okay.
was able to steal a little bit of her time. On her 2019 episode of TV One's Unsung, Adina revealed that while she was working on her second album, she found herself in a relationship with Wanya Morris of Boyz II Men, who at the time was dating her label mate, Brandy.
Y'all.
Whispers about Adina and
Y'all. And the love triangle begins. Oh, these dudes suck. All right, dude, these dudes ain't shit. All right, these dudes are not shit.
Wanya's fling reached the ears of high-powered music exec Sylvia Rohn, also known as Adina's boss. The love triangle got even more complex and complicated.
Of course it
Unbeknownst
did.
to Adina at the time, she was about to make some regrettable choices that would put her fate and entire career on the line, ending in disastrous results for her.
What'd she
If you didn't
do?
know, Sylvia is widely regarded as one of, if not the most influential woman in the music business ever. So when Adina made the mistake of crossing her, she learned the hard way that
Oh,
being
no.
an enemy at the executive level can have consequences that no amount of talent, drive, or buzz could ever fix.
Y'all, that's the, oh my God. That's the thing. Like, in any industry, if you either create beef or make someone mad at you that's at the level of executive level, basically like the people that are basically behind the scenes, pulling the strings, making things happen, pushing the artists, pulling artists, like doing all the things. Maybe that was the downward spiral of her career. And it's so sad to think about. It's so sad because the common denominator was the man at the end of the day. He was lying to both women, obviously. It's so sad and sick to see. And what happened to the man in the equation? Nothing. Not a thing, I don't think. Okay, but I am kind of jumping ahead. There is still a few minutes in the video. But from what I remember, nothing happened to him. He still went on, was successful, had hit records and all the things. Like, that's the problem. The double standard. It's freaking ridiculous. And I'm sorry. I'm going to go off on a tangent, so I'm just going to stop myself.
Sylvia spoke with Adina and implored her to let the relationship go and focus on her career. Adina didn't want to, and word of the situation became the talk of the town. Wendy Williams, then a radio DJ and gossip queen on New York station Hot 97, heard about it and called Adina, which is when she changed the course of her life.
I said something very inappropriate about the head of the label, and she pulled up the emergency brake, shut everything down, and rightfully so.
Y'all.
You have the power to do that, and you don't like what somebody said about you.
With her follow-up project now on hold, Adina caught a break thanks to an invite from Warren G to duet on a remake of the Tina Turner hit.
Sorry.
The track made it on the top 40 pop chart and was included on the Police Story 3 Super Cop soundtrack. In the midst of all the drama going on with her next album, Adina found a supporter in a friend of one of her sisters named Sherman Jordan. They first became friends, then much more than friends, and many years later, eventually married.
Aww.
Despite tensions with her label, Adina continued to work on a second album titled Welcome to Fantasy Island. While preparing for a release in the summer of 1997, her label dropped its lead single called Freak and You Know It. It didn't fare well on the charts. Some people behind the scenes believe that to be due to the title and subject matter being too similar to that of her first big hit.
Oh,
Then
yeah.
the label put the final nail in the coffin. Adina's
What'd they
album
do?
was getting shelved indefinitely, and she was getting kicked to the curb. Though the album was never officially released, one of the tracks, a song called T-Shirt and Panties, took on a life of its own. Written by and featuring Jamie Foxx, it was originally slated for the soundtrack to his 1997 buddy comedy, Booty Call, but it eventually ended up.
Y'all, I used to love that song back in the day. T-shirt and my panties on. Oh, that used to be the jam. Of course, I was young and I didn't really know what I was talking about, but the song spoke to my soul, so I loved it. But yeah, let's finish it out.
On the soundtrack to the 1998 romantic comedy, Whoop. Throughout the 2000s and 2010s, Adina stretched her acting skills by appearing in a handful of productions. Her music career carried on with live gigs. Then, in 2004, she released an album called The Second Coming. It features a song coupled with an eye-catching music video called Nasty Grind. Unfortunately, the video did nothing to help the song, and it, as well as the entire album, flopped. To add insult to injury, the
that
label,
sucks.
Roughtown Records, named her in a $10 million lawsuit. Reportedly, they were unhappy with the poor sales performance of the album. Adina lays the blame squarely on the lack of promotion by Roughtown, headed by singer Renee Moore of Renee and Angela fame. Her fourth
First of all, an artist has nothing to do with sales. They cannot force people to buy their record or stream their stuff. You know what I mean? That's the label's job. It's the label's job to market you. It's your label's job to get you a budget for videos. It's the label's job. That's the problem. People don't do their damn job. That's so crazy that they named her in a lawsuit. Oh, your sales were low, so we're suing you. First of all, did you guys do your job? Where was the promotion? Where were the commercials? Where was anything? You know, like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Sorry, guys. I can't. I can't.
album Private Show was delayed many times by Arsenal Records. However, it was ultimately released in the summer of 2007. A couple of singles dropped, but neither they nor the album itself charted. By now, Adina felt and knew her life was headed in a different direction. She decided to not be like other artists, constantly trying to relive their heydays and tap into her other talents. Those talents led her to the kitchen. In 2012, she graduated from the Cordon Bleu with an associate's degree in culinary arts. Over the next several years, Adina continued to make her mark as a chef in the Phoenix area. It seemed for all intents and purposes that her singing career was behind her, but then her past caught up with her in a good way.
Oh,
Fans
in a
were
good way.
beginning to have a
Okay.
hunger again for real
We're here for that.
So, like many of her fellow counterparts that exploded in the 90s, Adina started getting calls to get back on stage. She also got back into the studio and released her fourth album, titled Resurrection, in 2017. Around this same time, she and Sherman would divorce, but continued to maintain a great friendship. In a 2020 interview with R&B Junkie Official to celebrate the 25th anniversary of her debut album, Adina was asked if she thought or knew it would make the impact it did and pave the way for those who followed. She said, "Absolutely not. No, not in a million years. I just went in to do my job. I was blessed with the favor of having success, but no. My mind was, let's get this job done." You know what I'm saying? When you're going through the process, long hours, late nights, bad food, in my mind and in my head, I hope this pays off. In February 2021, her previously shelved album, Welcome to Fantasy Island, was finally released in the United States.
Wait.
In 2023,
So does that mean they released it in other countries? I'm so curious. I'm sorry, guys.
Adina set her sights on the world of fine wine, introducing her brand, Indelible. The alcoholic beverage captivates wine enthusiasts with its exquisite flavor and leaves a lasting impression, much like her music.
All right, y'all. So let's get into it. So that is crazy what happened to her. I am so happy for her. I'm so proud of her. Like, that is amazing that she, instead of spiraling to the pits of hell after her music career didn't go how she wanted, she took her drive, motivation, work ethic, and everything else and found her passion and really dug into that. And, you know, she got her degree. She did, you know, the food thing for a while, and then now she has her own business and makes wine. Like, that's amazing. That is amazing. I did read some of the comments under the video, and it was saying that a few people said this actually. They were like, "Oh, so Monica, for the song The Boy Is Mine by Brandy and Monica, basically it's about their love triangle." So basically Monica was playing Adina and Brandy was, you know, being Brandy. But the crazy part is Brandy was a freaking teen, like fresh out of high school almost. Like, I'm pretty sure she was like either barely 21 or not even 21 yet. And this man took advantage of that on both sides. And of course, he left unscathed with a fine career, which is freaking ridiculous. I cannot stand that. It irks my soul so much. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Do you remember back in the day this love triangle? Do you remember anything about it? Do you remember hearing anything about it? Do you remember, I know almost everyone knows the song The Boy Is Mine that's watching, but did you ever question like where the song came from, like the idea, you know what I mean, like the motivation, like anything like that? Let me know what you guys think. Sound up in the comments. But I'm gonna wrap this video up. Please like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notifications so you know faster when I post, kept up to date. All right, giveaway possibly coming in August. So, bye guys.